Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we are returning to our strategic bombing campaign of Germany, playing as the United Kingdom here. So, let's start the game and see what is going to happen as we enter 1940 here, and it's slowly starting to become springtime. I do think we do need a lot more oil still, even though we are buying quite a bit. So we're producing 9.2, but we'd be consuming a lot more than that, wouldn't we? Yeah. So, you know what? Let's buy more oil then. Ooh, you're not delivering as much as we would hope you would, are you? Okay, let's just buy a little bit from you then. British Malay is fine. Dutch East Indies, I think we have to reduce you a little bit. And the British Raj, you know what, you're fine, but still let's do that as like that. I think that's okay there. Iraq, what's going on with you? I think you should be delivering. It's probably just a couple of things regarding our... Right, let's buy a bit of oil from you. And I think that should help out a little bit, shouldn't it? Yeah, well, at least our current production exceeds our current supply. Even though our current demand, even though this is going to take quite a while, so that's unfortunate. Is that Italian territory? Look at the French, they did it again. They are now in Italian territory down here on the southern front, so that's extremely interesting. We've won in North Africa here, so that's fantastic. But our most important thing is, of course, still our bombing campaign. We're sending about 1,200 active bombers from the United Kingdom, and about twice as many fighters. Speaking of, we've just discovered fighter escorts. We're going to go for Flying Fortress here. Going to spend a little bit on that so that we have it a little bit earlier, and I think that's fine and fantastic. Let's do check out here on the situation. So we are losing about 100, they are losing about 4 times as much, and we are bombing a lot of buildings. So that is definitely fantastic. Let's actually make sure... I don't think we need to hit the oil installations anymore. I think going just for the military factories is going to be fine. And let's have a look at the situation down here. So, down here we've got... They have only got, basically, we've devastated 2/3 of their military factories down here. So, I think that's great. Big question is, do we need to do anything about the civilian infrastructure as well? And that, I think, is going to be slightly tempting. We're going to see whether we're going to go anywhere with that. I don't quite know yet. Let's see about that. Right, and we've got another operative that we can recruit, so that's perfectly fine. Oh, I do think I like the idea of a demolition expert. So let's actually basically check, by the way, what can we do over here. We could infiltrate the army, not that required. I don't think any of these is going to be that useful. With one exception here, make resistance contacts, and I do think we could do that down here in Bohemia. So build up the guys down here. Seducer, yeah, why not? And this girl as well, right, why not? And let's just commence that whenever ready, so that we are building up some reputation down there, and I think that's going to be fine. Seems like the Dutch are still holding out, which is of course fantastic, so we're getting closer to the historical timeline. Remember, we did need... we couldn't really join Poland when they were attacked. The world tension really wasn't high enough for that. So it's only now that we are truly here at war against the... or that we could only really support the war effort once Germany declared war on the Low Countries, which was in late 1939, so a little bit... our historical there. Ooh, we do need more aluminium. Now, British Malaya, you could send us a little bit more, I suppose. But I suppose we just do need to buy that from... Well, we could also buy from Norway, but I don't necessarily like that idea. No, I think that's fine. Let's buy a little bit... Oh, sorry about that. Let's buy a little bit more here from the United States. That's going to be perfectly fine and lovely. And I, of course, do need to turn down my phone. Right. So, there we go, and so just a little bit of convoy sinking over there. Nothing too bad happening in Norway yet, so that's nice to see, even though it's March. Well, I mean, it's still pretty late. There is the Winter War. Okay, that's interesting, but not really much of our concern at this point. You know, historically, of course, there was quite a bit of concern, but yeah, it's just like... Okay, yeah, I think, you know what, that is a good trade. It's interesting to see that Italy is still trading up here. I wonder whether they are trading with Sweden. probably be the case, right? Don't know what else they would be doing up here. Oh well, we'll see. Alright, a couple of things over here. All in all, our situation down here is still surprisingly stable, I have to say. More pilots is definitely great for us. Don't know where they are though. Let's actually check whether any of you guys... You've got a pilot, you know what? That is not actually what I want. So let's grab actually our heavy fighters here. And you guys are going to get the fighter here. So let's actually allocate you and you to these groups, and I think that's perfectly fine. Good, yeah, I like it. You guys might also become high priority here, just for reinforcements and stuff. Speaking of, you guys don't really... I mean, you are nearly there with half both fighters, so that I think is very nice, but other than that, we're really slow in building them up. We've also got another army, or 6 divisions at least over here, and you know what? I think what we're going to do is we're going to promote these guys under new army here, and your job is going to be to guard, no, sorry, not fall back line, just to guard Norway over here. And of course I would primarily like you to guard the naval bases. That should be fine, and maybe the air bases, and why not victory points? I think that's fine. Forts? Yeah, why not? Okay, so 6 divisions over there for you, and we are going to take all of you guys over here and actually put you into that army as well. So you guys should get over there and basically do your job there. You know what, can I select all except for you guys here? And before you go over there, can you get to Skopje or something, so that you're not really... Is that Skopje itself? No, I don't think so. So, yeah, you know what, let's get to Edinburgh, so that you're sailing at least a little bit more on the northern route, and I think that's going to be okay. Right, there we go, fantastic. And so that does leave you guys over here, right, the first army. Can I delete all of your orders here, because that is not required anymore, so that's fine. Good. Okay, we probably do need a little bit more in terms of infantry, so let's at least train 3 more guys over here, and I think that's going to be alright. Yeah. We are extremely shy on manpower though, so at some point we do need to draft more men, and I think that's going to be alright. Oh, actually the Danish are getting into the Greater London area to fight for our side. I don't see them though. Where are you? I don't think you've been allocated to anyone specifically, have you? Huh, I don't know. Anyway, we've got better NTA, so that's nice to see. Improved artillery would be lovely. Some other naval stuff might be nice. But yeah, you know what, let's go for improved artillery, and I think that's fine. Better AA is also nice to see. We can potentially build that into some of our newer ships or some of the upgrades there. It's going to take a while, but for now I think we're going to be alright here. So that's okay. More convoys being sunk over here. You guys are over here. That's okay too. Sinking 2 German submarines there. That's nice. How are you guys doing? Okay, now you're shipping out. But I think all in all we're going to be fine over here. Yeah, I think that should be okay. Yeah, we are still holding out down here. We are getting some knowledge about the enemy fighting capabilities over there, so that's okay. We've got a lot of Italian jobs down here. And we've by now at least entered into force here in East Africa, so that I think is nice to see. Right, so what I would hope to do is, okay, let's take half of you and half of you and try to attack over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these guys, have them support this action. So that should basically fill up all of our combat width here quite dramatically. And then afterwards, let's take these guys over here and try to get down there to the port, so that they have even less supply than they naturally should have. I mean, where are they actually getting supply from? I wonder. Well, I don't know. Okay, let's have you guys attack here. We're going to support that from this side and hope that that is going to be enough. You guys are sort of spreading out anyway, so that's nice. And you guys over here are okay, I suppose. A couple of mountain divisions over here. Well, just one mountain division. Which really isn't that much if you think about it. Okay, we lost a convoy over there. Not the end of the world. Mexican compensation. Now, good, we can trade on these terms. That would increase our trade relations with them, which is nice, but you know what, let's hold out for a better deal. I want to find out what's going on over here. So that should be okay. These guys are now very close to Norway. Not necessarily the route that I would want them to take, but it seems right about okay. So yeah, another German submarine sunk. That is fantastic. Let's actually check on their intel. So just on the air side, 1,300 fighters. So we are bringing down their fighter numbers, which is very nice to see. And on the naval side, we've got only 4 submarines left now. That is extremely interesting on the German side. Right, and we've got some unfulfilled import requests. That's okay. Fuel is extremely slowly going up, but it is going up, so that's nice. And you guys have beaten them down there, so that it's nice to see that you're now trying to make a breakthrough there. You guys might as well try to attack over here. And you're going to be supported from this side. Going to be supported from... Is there no link there? Okay. Well, unfortunate. Okay, but still okay. Right, you guys are a little bit faster. You guys are over here. Unfortunate. Right, okay, nevertheless, let's try to continue the march down here into this direction. So that at least we're cutting off one person there, and we've got the airplanes there, so that is hopefully going to be alright. Another submarine sunk. Great. That shouldn't last too long at that rate. And over here, more of their submarines, more of their convoys being sunk, which is of course very lovely indeed. And a couple more Italian ones. Interesting, really interesting. And we've got our troops over there on that coast. That's nice. Southern Front seems to be holding out alright as well, so it's already quite different to history, at least in terms of how the French are holding out. But also they are doing relatively... I mean, time-wise we are a little bit closer now, since the German attack historically, of course, didn't really start at that time. So, let's talk a little bit about Bomber Command in 1940. They didn't really... 1940 is a weird year for Bomber Command, because they are sort of trying to fulfill their historical role early on. Destroyers over there. Interesting. They are trying to fulfill their envisioned role early on with the bombardments and the leaflet drops that we've discussed last time, but they just can't quite manage. So they don't you know, they sort of forget that role relatively rapidly and focus on the leaflet campaign, and then very rapidly, as you know, the weather is clearing up. At that point, enemy has air superiority over Central Africa. Well, we are now flying over this area here, so that shouldn't be too much of a concern. And really, you know, as soon as the Battle of France starts, it really starts to get... Very quickly it becomes a war of... Okay, this doesn't go anywhere, does it? Yeah, no. Yeah, so as the Germans are historically pushing into France and the Low Countries, really what the UK is doing at that point during the early year of 1940 at least, is very much focused on trying to establish air superiority to be supporting the tactical air battle. They're not really flying into Germany. There's one plan where they think, okay, we could be striking their fighter production and their aircraft production, and that would weaken them. But it really just doesn't make that much sense, because in the short run you're not gonna achieve much. So really what the Germans are what Bomber Command at that point is doing is it's trying to hold and stem the German tide, and as we know, of course, it's really not that successful at that either. So at this point it's not quite the low in terms of reputation of Bomber Command. That is going to come a little bit later, but it certainly doesn't feel like Bomber Command is living up to its pre-war promises. And that just air power in general, while it's on the tactical side, it does seem to be very well employed sometimes. It just feels like on the overall side, just on the overall strategic level, at this point Air Command really struggles. And that is very, very disheartening for some of the, let's say, pre-war thinkers and the pre-war almost revolutionary ideas that were around, that air power would be a strategic tool, and it should be used strategically, and it should definitively not be blundered in any sort of piecemeal fashion on the battlefield. The big, important and new thing about air power is, after all, that you could fly above the enemy armies, and right into their heartland. So that didn't really bore out in early 1944 for Bomber Command. And very soon, you know, as we get into the later part of the year, Bomber Command's job is going to shift once again. So quite differently to what we're doing here with the very liberal bombing here of, let's say, Western Germany, where by now we have lost more than basically 500 planes, but the enemy has lost 2,000 fighters. 2,000 fighters. That is remarkable. I mean, this is not a multiplayer game, but still, 2,000 fighters. We only estimate that they have about 1,000 left. I mean, this is not going to be accurate, but that would be a fantastic result. How on earth are we getting that many hits? Well, I also noticed that the weather here is pretty bad. I mean, there's storms over here, whereas the weather over northern Germany seems to be clear, you know what? So let's actually shift our attack pattern here towards northern Germany and see what we can do over there. Maybe we can do some damage over there as well, and that would be fantastic and nice. Do see a couple of airplanes over here, but you know what? Let's have them come into battle. Let's try to draw them into battle and defeat them in the air there. We are certainly seeing some of our bombers going down here. That's not what the numbers are telling us. Soviet Union and Finland doing a white peace. That's lovely and fine. Nice, actually. Still a couple of things going on here. That's okay, all in all. Yeah, and down here in Italy, things are somewhat stabilized. We have a lot of troops here in the south. I'm not sure I'm happy with that. Is that a German unit over here? Yeah, curious. Curious to see the Germans committing to this sort of faraway region here. Right, okay, let's take half of you here, support this attack. And you know what, you guys can support that attack as well. So that we have sort of overwhelming force here. And I think that should dislodge them pretty quickly. Donald Stubborn Fisher shot down Bubby. Our latest mission over northwest Germany was a great success for the British Air Force in more than one aspect. Reports have come in highlighting Donald Stubborn Fisher heroic deed, managing to outwit the German pilot Erich Hartmann, known as Booby. Stubborn used himself as bait and lured Booby into a trap where the British pilots were able to dive on Booby's squadron. Stubborn proceeded to outmaneuver the German aircraft with a single burst, sent Booby spiraling from the skies of northwest Germany. That is very nice indeed. So, German pilots being shot down and ours being promoted is, of course, always very welcome news. And let's basically check on this, by the way. Just over the last couple of days, so until this point, we've already lost 8 aircraft, but we've shot down 40. So that's still a very, very good ratio here. But we do need to be concerned about some of these numbers here. So, well, not really. I mean, close air support and fighters, these are things that we had pre-war that we're not really producing anymore. It seems that the number of our heavy fighters is actually going up, and that is fantastic, because not only does that mean we have a chance of replacing our losses and potentially establish new squadrons, it also means, since we only just recently switched out these models and the production is fairly low at this point, you know, this is going to increase by probably twofold, yeah, pretty much exactly twofold over the duration of that production. So that is going to be fairly nice to see that coming into play. I'm not immediately gonna establish new squadrons, but I think it's still quite nice. Right, another national focus that we could choose. Again, all of this here over here is not really relevant for now. Benelux intervention, all of that is not really relevant. Amphibious warfare, chief of staff might be nice, because for the planning speed and all of that. But I do think what I probably want to do here is a bonus on destroyer warfare and anti-submarine warfare. On the other hand, we've nearly defeated all of them. So you know what, let's go for Britannia Rule the Waves here. And that I think is fine and fantastic. And we've got now a new bonus here on light cruisers, and that is also going to be very nice. Good. I like it. Okay, we should make some adaptations though. So you guys here, maybe just limit yourself to 150 aircraft. I think that's going to be alright. And one of you guys over here can also likewise limit yourself a little bit so that you can at least free up some forces of all of these other troops here. You know what, you're going to be limited to 100 planes, so all of that should be a little bit more in line to what we can field in regards to these old squadrons here. And I think that's fine. Let's make them a little bit smaller, and that's going to be okay. Convoys being lost down here, that's not the end of the world really. How's the situation down here? You've just managed to get over there, that's great. You guys can, I think, go to Gondar, right? Well, I mean, you've got 5 infantry divisions over here, maybe. Oh, well, you should be able to support that as well. Yeah, you are. So that's nice. And you guys, where are you going? Yeah, well, okay, I guess. There's a sandstorm over here. We should potentially stop our aircraft there. But you know what, that's okay. Over here, our losses are piling up, but so are theirs. So that is nice. And I think at some point they're probably going to lose the ability to withstand us. We are losing quite a bit of our capability to build up stuff to trading though. And I think very soon we might find that we don't have any capabilities here to build up any further military military factories, because we are pouring all of these guys here into the production of heavy aircraft and all of that, so just might not be sufficient there. I think we can go for Stengun there. You know what, we're going to commit one more factory here, then we're going to start to produce some other items over time. 3 dockyards. Well, that's lovely. Let's actually check. So we've got the light cruiser technology. That's going to be done soon, and then we could go for this. And it wouldn't really take that long, 56 days. I would ideally like to give it better torpedo launchers at the very least. How about light guns? Well, we don't well, we have the advanced light one there, but I do think this is the most important one here, right? Yeah, well. Well. Okay, I think we could think about some upgrades to our navy first. So let's actually check. So we've got all of these battleships, that's fine. We've got all of these light cruisers here. We've got all of these heavy cruisers as well. And we've got the county. Let's actually check which class we've got. So in terms of navy, build ships, heavy cruisers. We've got a couple of classes here, the Hawkins York and County. County seems to be the most evolved one, which if we use dual purpose guns, you would already get a lot more light attack, you'd be getting a lot more AAE. We should be using better radar installations on you guys. We should give you better AA, I think that's fine. We're not going to change out the main battery though, so that's fine. We don't really need torpedo launchers, I think, on our heavy cruisers. Let's actually give you some dual purpose guns here. I think that's fine, and that is okay too. And up over here, you know what? I don't think aircraft facilities are that useful. Surface detection is, I mean, we have got radar, right? So even if we replace this, we're probably still going to get a higher surface detection than we had before. Yeah, and our light attack would go up dramatically, light piercing would go up a little bit, heavy attack, it's not really a difference. But AA would go up extremely, and I think that is going to be useful, especially if we are going to fight Japan later on in the war. How about better fire control? Yeah, reliability goes down, but honestly, I think with the increase in light attack, heavy attack, and AA, I think that is a worthwhile upgrade here. So yeah, let's actually go ahead and call that the CA Mark 1, simply so that I know it's a proper designed ship that we have actually designed over here. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, let's grab a couple of guys, maybe you guys over here, county class. So you guys can upgrade to... Can I actually ask one of you? Yeah, so the cost per guy here is about 1,400, so that's okay. How about the Hawkins class though? Is it quite different? Don't quite know about that. Production, heavy cruisers, Hawkins class. You don't have the same sort of heavy gun setup, so yeah, that's why it would be so much more expensive to upgrade you. That's okay, we don't need to. I think it's going to be fine if we do it like this. Do change this though, just one, and you know what, after that we can, again, you know what, we don't need to. So that's fine. Okay, I like it. Right, so situation in Belgium still somewhat stable. 3 dockyards, really? Yeah, I mean, these things are going to take a while, right? May to July. Don't want to upgrade all of them at the same time, but maybe a couple? Okay, let's grab all of these guys. I think that's fine. And that should be okay. Right, there we go. And improved computing machine done. That's nice. Let's go to Navy and let's immediately research the light cruisers here. 56 days. That's very, very quick. So very happy about that. And that should give us a good new platform, which I'm going to enjoy very much. Right. So situation over here is stable. Over here we have made some progress, and that is indeed very nice, because that does mean that we can potentially advance here a little bit more, a little bit deeper into Africa, and that is going to be super useful. Right, you guys are fine. Let's get you over there. Let's grab the cavalry here and let's come into this area as well. At least one sort of in each of no. One in sort of each of these territories. That's going to be all right. There we go. Fine, I like it. Nice. Potential to cut off enemy units, always very, very much appreciated. 4 units over there, that's quite a number. And we've got the Italian tanks down there. Now, I would like to kick you back a little bit, so let's try to make some advances there against the tanks. Okay, you have found opposition here, but that's okay, we are pouring in more resources there. So I suppose we're going to see them break through soon. Some convoys, that's not really the big thing. And a submarine there. Nice. Okay, let's actually check on the Germans there. How are we doing in terms of defeating your economy? And, oh, I didn't know we had that view. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that was there. But let's look at the civilian side of things. So, yeah, another 13 factories destroyed over here. So, overall, 29% of their military factories are damaged now. Nearly a third at this point is damaged. So, that is super interesting. I don't think we have the range to hit Eastern Germany, though. So that's slightly unfortunate, but this here alone is already a very, very nice success, I have to say. So I didn't expect that to go that well. Also, we finished this over here, which is nice. Okay, let's close that. Let's close this. So that does mean we can now strengthen the resistance, and we can think about sabotaging the industry. Now, I think strengthening the resistance here is gonna be useful. So, in fact, let's actually build up our power base over here, and in Germany itself, in Germany proper. Yeah, there we go. And of course in sort of everywhere in Germany, really. I think we can also think about Warsaw. I think some improvement there would be very nice. Let's alter Picasso, and you know what? You there, you're linguists. Yeah, I would like you to learn German. You, sir, are German anyway, so that's nice. You're German. You are sort of not really that important. Okay, so let's actually use you on Rome down there, because of course they are going to be relevant too. Right. Okay, so that's looking nice. We are building up quite a couple of things over there, and strengthening the resistance in Bohemia. Is that actually possible? It does seem to be possible, so that is nice. And you know what? Let's ask you as well. It is considered to be risky, but there's only so much we can do about that. 2,000 infantry equipment. That's quite a bit, actually. We don't really have that much, do we? No. Hungary joining? Well, that is unfortunate, but, well, there we go. 4 submarines lost there. It's nice to see that the French are in the war for so long, because they definitely do have a very good navy. That does help us out here against Italy quite evidently, so that is definitely nice to see. Okay, let's try to grab these harbours. I think that's going to be very important and very nice indeed as well. So let's grab you over there, and let's grab one of you to these divisions, get down there. That is fine and lovely. You can support that there just to make it a little bit faster, and you know what, you guys can do that as well. Really shouldn't take too long. Just, I also want to avoid the scrambling there of the front lines. Yeah, no. Alright. Yeah, nice. Oh, they are doing an amphibious landing over here. Curious. Very curious. Alright, you guys are doing fine. You don't really need to go up there, please. It would be absolutely fine if you got down here. And what, you two, just try to get over there. Really cut them off from their supply base. I think that's going to be more than enough. Right, okay. One of you guys here, get down there, please. As they are streaming towards South Africa very, very slowly. There, I think we can make some progress, so that is always nice. Well, this is a leg. This is 3 divisions, so it would be fantastic if we had some chance to get over here, wouldn't it? Right, you going over there. That's okay. And fine. Improved artillery upgrade, also useful. Not the most important one, mind you, but still useful. Over here I think everything is fine. Everything is fine. This is still way too much ahead of time, so I don't think that's useful. Could do this, but we're also researching something that, or our national focus is on something that would help there, so you know what, I think the torpedo launchers here might be useful for our new generation of light cruisers that is going to come into play at some point. So yeah, that's going to be alright. Nice. What's going on over here? Well, 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 if that isn't a large number of ships. So at this point I'm really left to wonder why you guys are not sailing forth. You are on the strike force mission. This is part of your area. There are no mines or anything. You are supposed to engage at high risk. Okay, let's get you off from that and let's just move you over there manually. You are not immediately going to be engaged because that battle is over. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, let's get you back to strike force mission. Improved infantry equipment, nice. Yeah, well, I do think we do need some battle stuff over there. That's going to be useful. Yeah, there we go. Fuel situation is somewhat more stabilized, so that is nice to see. You guys are struggling here a little bit, I feel, and this is not really what you're supposed to do. So let's get one of you down there. Let's get one of you over here, and then let's get one of you over there. Yeah, sort of cut in there a little bit. You guys can advance. All of you guys are advancing down there as well, so I think that's going to be alright, yeah. Okay, let's try to attack over here. I think we're going to win here very quickly. Okay, you there. Can you get over here and then there? Can you support this attack, please? That would be brilliant. Yeah, nice. Do you know what? I know it's difficult terrain and everything, but try to get them over there. I think that would be super useful. Not enough manpower. Yeah, we definitely do need to do something about that. But soon we're going to have 150 political power, and I think at that point we can do something. That being said, let's briefly check on this over here. So 7 buildings bombed. Well, over the last month, 10 buildings bombed. 50 aircraft lost. And 250 shot down. I like it. I like it a lot. Guys, do leave a like and all of that. Let me know whether you think we will be bringing down the Germans by air power alone. I'm very intrigued. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.